Alright, so moving on. We're going to take a break from graphing and talking about line equations, and we're going to talk about trig and trig identities. So I won't be covering too much trig identities this week, but to prove, whenever they're asking to prove a trig identity, you're going to need to use your common trig identities to simplify and to show that the left side and the right side are the same. So the question reads that prove that cosine x squared minus sine squared x equals 1 minus 2 sine squared x. So I'm assuming that a lot of you guys know this basic trigonometric identity, which is cosine squared minus sine squared x, or plus squared x, sorry, equals 1. And from here, you can isolate for cosine squared x, where this would be this. Okay, so we're gonna use this identity to help prove the statements. Okay, so moving on, we have our original statement: cos squared x minus sine squared x equals 1 minus 2 sine squared x. Okay, so since we know that cos squared x equals 1 minus sine squared x, we're going to plug in the star, right? So that would equal 1 minus sine squared x minus sine squared x equals 1 minus 2 sine squared x. If you take out these brackets, we see that we have 1 minus 2 sine squared x. And we have proven the statement. So now we have proven that cosine squared x minus sine squared x equals 1 minus 2 sine squared x. So we proved it. So we put a box here. And in fact, this statement here is actually a very common trig identity that you guys should also know. And this is the proof for that trig identity. So the junior tutor has the same solution as I did. They posted the first trig identity, cosine squared x plus sine squared x equals 1. They isolated for cosine squared x, and then they plugged it in to prove this statement. So this is the correct